Catholic television in Africa.
PACIS TV, ta vie rénovée.
Hello once again and welcome back on PACIS TV English News. My name is Benjamin Kwizera and I give you a warm welcome. Minister Dr. Utumatwishima Jean-Paul Abdallah has urged the Christian youth to stay away from drugs and substance abuse, stressing that faith in God should go hand in hand with responsible and exemplary conduct. A total of 85.7% of students who sit for Rwanda's national examinations at the end of lower secondary education has achieved the required pass mark, according to the results announced on Thursday afternoon. Rwanda National Police in the southern province of Rwanda has trained traders and vendors operating at Irango Modern Market in the Huye district on fire prevention, preparedness and emergency response. In international news, His Holiness Pope Leon XIV has announced the schedule of his 4-day apostolic journey to France, scheduled for September 25th until September 28th. Welcome to our news in details. Minister Dr. Utumatwishima Jean-Paul Abdallah has urged Christian youth to stay away from drugs and substance abuse, stressing that faith in God should go hand in hand with responsible and exemplary conduct. More report. Minister Dr. Utumatwishima Jean-Paul Abdallah has urged the Christian youth to stay away from drugs and substance abuse, stressing that faith in God should go hand in hand with responsible and exemplary conduct. The minister made the remarks while meeting young people attending the Boys and Girls Brigade Forum in Muhanga district. The forum brought together young participants from several countries across East Africa and West Africa. Minister Dr. Utumatwishima noted that many young people are increasingly engaging in substance abuse, including some Christians, yet those who serve and believe in God are expected to set a positive example in society. He said that, in his view, no servant of God should consume alcohol or other intoxicating substances because it is difficult to serve God while engaging in harmful behaviors and immoral conduct. The minister further said that God gives people opportunities to do good, but some individuals choose to misuse those opportunities because of decisions they make. He encouraged young people to reject dependency and embrace hard work, describing self-reliance as a positive value that enables individuals to pursue their goals through honest and sustainable means. Minister Utumatwishima called on Christian youth to play an active role in the fight against drug abuse by encouraging their peers to avoid substances that can negatively affect their lives and future. He urged them to reject illicit alcohol and other harmful substances, emphasizing that Christian youth have responsibility to help to build a healthier and more promising future for themselves and their communities. Some of the Rwandan youth who attended the forum said the guidance they receive would help them to avoid drug abuse and encourage other young people to do the same. Well, a total of 85.7% of students who sat for Rwandan national examinations at the end of lower secondary education have achieved the required pass mark, according to the results announced on Thursday afternoon. More reports. A total of 85.70% of students who sat for Rwanda's national examinations at the end of lower secondary education have achieved the required pass mark, according to the results announced on Thursday. The Director General of National Examination and School Inspection Authority (NESA), Dr. Bernard Bahati, said the overall performance had improved, with fewer students scoring below 50% and more moving into the category of those achieving 50% and above.
A total of 149,015 candidates across the country sat for the national examinations. Girls accounted for 57.2% of the candidates, while boys represent 42.7%. According to NESA, 85.7% of the candidates met the required standards and successfully passed the examinations. Girls recorded a pass rate of 82.63%, while boys performed better with 89.8%, achieving the required pass mark. The overall performance improved compared to the last year. When the national pass rate stood at 84%, NESA also noted a significant decline in the number of students scoring between 40 and 50%. Last year, 40,936 students were in the 40 to 50% category. This year, number fell to 18,253, indicating that many students who previously fell within the range moved into the category of those scoring 50% and above. Students sat examinations in 9 subjects. NESA reported particularly strong performance in biology, civics, and English. Performance in entrepreneurship education declined slightly, while improvements were recorded in geography, mathematics, and history. In Kinyarwanda, performance also generally improved compared with the previous year, apart from the slight decline recorded in entrepreneurship-related subjects. The results provide an important indication of the progress in lower secondary education, while also highlighting areas where additional support may be needed to improve student performance.
Rwanda National Police in southern province of Rwanda has trained traders and vendors operating in Irango Modern Market in Huye district on fire prevention, preparedness and emergency response. News in details.
Rwanda National Police in southern province of Rwanda has trained traders and vendors operating in Irango Modern Market in Huye district on fire prevention, preparedness, and emergency response. The training was aimed at equipping market operators with practical knowledge and skills to prevent fires and respond quickly and effectively in the event of an outbreak. The Southern Province Police spokesperson CIP Hassan Kamanzi said fire prevention and firefighting are responsibilities that require the participation of everyone. He emphasized that knowing how to respond to a fire is an essential life skill that can help to prevent the loss of property and lives both at home and in the places people visit or work every day. During the training, participants were introduced to different methods of extinguishing fires and encouraged to take immediate action whenever a fire breaks out rather than waiting solely for the police to arrive. They were also shown how to make effective use of the firefighting equipment available to them. The Southern Province Police Community Liaison Coordinator SP Halima Nyirimwe urged residents to remain actively involved in the fire prevention efforts, noting that fires can cause significant financial losses and, in some cases, result in loss of life. She explained that everyone has a role to play in preventing fires, which is why the police organized the training to ensure that participants have sufficient knowledge and practical skills to respond to fire emergencies. A representative of the Private Sector Federation in Huye district described the training as an important initiative, saying it would enable people to prevent and respond to fires without having to rely exclusively on the police. The representative commended the Rwanda National Police for taking the initiative to train members of the community and promote greater preparedness at the local level. Rwanda National Police says it continues to conduct public education and awareness programs across the country to equip citizens with knowledge that can help to prevent various risks and protect lives and property. The police emphasizes that strong cooperation between communities and public institutions remains essential in preventing emergencies, addressing security challenges, and building safer communities.
Well, from Huye district to Nyaruguru district, residents in some villages in Nyagisozi and Moya cells in the Nyagisozi sector in Nyaruguru district say that the ongoing construction of a paved road has given them renewed hope for development. News in details.
Residents in some villages in Nyagisozi sector of Nyaruguru district say that the ongoing construction of a paved road has given them renewed hope for development. However, they say another pressing challenge needs urgent attention is access to electricity from the national grid. According to the residents, the lack of grid electricity continues to limit their opportunities for business and other development activities, leaving some communities isolated from benefits of electricity-driven development. They are therefore calling on authorities to help to connect them to national grid. The Executive Secretary of Nyagisozi Sector, Vedasta Bimana, says that although the national grid has not yet reached some residents, plans are in place to extend electricity access to the communities that are still waiting for it. Currently, authorities in Nyagisozi Sector say approximately 99% of households in the sector have access to electricity either through the national grid or solar power. At the district level, however, official figures indicate that electricity access in Nyaruguru stands at approximately 86% of households.
Well, from Nyaruguru district to Nyamasheke district, residents of Nyabitekeri sector in Nyamasheke district said that the tradition in which girls pay or give gifts such as rooster to young men in order to convince them to marry them is gradually disappearing. Some residents deny that the practice ever existed, while others acknowledge that it was once practiced but say it has declined. More report.
Residents of Nyabitekeri sector, Nangosel in Nyamasheke district, say the tradition in which girls pay or give gifts such as rooster to young men in order to convince them to marry them is gradually disappearing. Some residents deny that the practice ever existed, while others acknowledge that it was once practiced but say it has declined, partly because priests condemned it, arguing that marriages entered into such circumstances often failed to last. It is widely reported that some girls in Nyabitekeri sector are the ones who approach young men, sometimes giving them money or other gifts to convince them to accept the marriage proposals. Residents of Nangosel, where the practice is said to have been common, spoke to PACIS TV, although some denied that such practices exist in their community. As we continued speaking to different residents, we met an elderly man who could not clearly confirm whether the practice still exists. However, he expressed concern about what he described as declining culture of traditional marriage customs. He also raised concerns about modern marriages, saying some parents are worried about the stability of marriages in which young men are allegedly given money or other valuable by women before agreeing to marry them. Others confirmed that the practice once existed but said it gradually disappearing, partly because priests spoke about it and against it. They argued that such arrangement could place financial pressure on families, sometimes forcing parents to take on debt or even sell land to meet the demands associated with marriage. Speaking recently about the practice reportedly found in parts of Nyamasheke district, Minister of Gender and Family Promotion Console Uwimana said she had also had reports that in some communities young men are expected to eat as many as 9 chickens before going to formally ask for a bride's hand in marriage. She also referred to reports of men being given cattle to take home, comparing the practice to traditions in Bugesera where men are reportedly given bicycles. However, she emphasized that no girl should be required to pay a bride price or otherwise buy a husband.
Well, and that's all for local stories tonight. But before we go to international news, let's go to the short commercial break tonight.
Ya shuri bose bashaka ni College Fondation Sinagera.
Mama we.
Iri ni ishuri ribumbatiye icyerekezo cy'u Rwanda twifuza kuko ritanga uburezi buhamye mu mashuri y'inshuke, abanza, icyiciro rusange ndetse n'amashami y'imyuga n'ubumenyingiro mu buhinzi, ubworozi, food processing, ubwubatsi, ubukanishi bw'ibinyabiziga, fashion design, gutunganya imisatsi, ububaji n'ubusuderi. Hari n'amasomo y'igihe gito short courses mu mashami yavuzwe haruguru aherekezwa na practice zihagije kuko abanyeshuri bigira mu nganda za Sina Gerard International Football Academy yigisha abana guhera ku myaka 6 gucunga ruhago sawa atletism, imbyino nyarwanda no kwiga amategeko y'umuhanda no gutwara ibinyabiziga nabyo biri mu nyongera y'amasomo. Abana biga amashuri y'incuke n'abanza basoza ibyo byiciro bose bazi gutwara igare. Umwana wa segonderi we atahana uruhusa rwo gutwara ibinyabiziga. Witinda kwandikisha umwana ku ishuri kuri Nyirangarama cyangwa ku mashami ya Sina Gerard Entreprise Urwibutso hose mu gihugu. Ku bindi bisobanuro hamagara 0788535123 cyangwa 0788535999. Twubaka ubukungu bushingiye ku bumenyi.
Babivuze ukuri kuwiza imyuga acukubiri n'ubushomeri maze agatangira gukirigita ifaranga. Mu ishuri umushumba mwiza TSS niho honyine wakwiga imyuga ku rwego rwa AD irimo guteka ibizwi nka food and beverage operations, ubudozi cyangwa fashion design.
Abashaka kandi kwiga by'igihe gito namwe twabatekerejeho kuko tubigisha gutunganya imisatsi, ubutetsi n'amahoteli. Ushobora no kwiga mu mezi 3, 6 cyangwa umwaka, ndetse n'ishami ry'ubuhinzi no gutunganya umusaruro. Nimutugane.
Umuryango umushumba mwiza kandi ubafitiye n'ishuri ribanza ry'ikitegerezo rya Ecole Sainte Agnès guhera mu y'inshuke kugeza usoje abanza.
Ngwino wandikisha umwana wawe hakiri kare kuko twatangiye kwandikisha abashaka gutangirana n'umwaka w'amashuri mu kwezi kwa 9.
Ishuri umushumba mwiza TSS na Ecole Sainte Agnès aherereye i Remera mu Giporoso ahazwi nko ku Cyamitsingi.
Ku bindi bisobanuro wahamagara kuri nimero mubona kuri ekara zanyu.
Ufite Canal Plus, abafite na Netflix. Niho honyine warebera K-pop Demon Hunters ndetse anime y'inyamamare muri iyi minsi. Mu mazi magari abasare ba One Piece muri season ya 2 baragashya kugeza ku nkombe. The Polygamist mwese mwakukiye imitima uyireba yicara na karahuri k'amazi hafi aho. The Night Agent season ya 3 nibiturika bidasigwo bihasanze. Kuri Netflix ufite amahitamo y'imyidagaduro y'impande zose z'isi. Netflix iri muri abonema y'ikirenga nta yandi mafaranga wongeyeho. Niba ufite abonema ihutire gukurikiza amabwiriza ubundi ubone igisobanuro cy'uburyohe.
Nyuma rero ugiye kutubwira impamvu zatumye hitamo kuza gusaba akazi hano.
Bwa mbere nza gusaba akazi hano nari nabitekerejeho. Mbabarire. Murakoze. Mu by'ukuri numvaga mfite ubushobozi ndetse n'ubushake.
So kutiteguye bihagije nuko utaryama neza. Rwanda Farm, le paradis du matelas.
Bakerarugendo namwe bashyitsi mugenda mu karere ka Muhanga no mu tundi turere two mu ntara y'Amajyepfo n'intara y'Iburengerazuba.
Nyuma rero ugiye kutubwira impamvu zatumye hitamo kuza gusaba akazi hano.
Bwa mbere nza gusaba akazi hano nari nabitekerejeho. Mbabarire. Murakoze. Mu by'ukuri numvaga mfite ubushobozi ndetse n'ubushake.
So kutiteguye bihagije nuko utaryama neza. Rwanda Farm, le paradis du matelas.
Bakerarugendo namwe bashyitsi mugenda mu karere ka Muhanga no mu tundi turere two mu ntara y'Amajyepfo n'intara y'Iburengerazuba. Namwe mwese mukeneye serivisi za hotel ni muze nimugera mu mujyi wa Muhanga mukomeze gato. Nimugera i Kabgayi murahasanga hoteli yiteguye kubakirana urugwiro. iyo nta yindi ni Hotel Saint-Andre Kabgayi. Hotel Saint-Andre Kabgayi tugufitiye serivisi zitandukanye za bar na restaurant kandi zitanga ubuhanga n'icyubahiro ku mukiriya utugana. Tubafitiye kandi imikino itandukanye ifasha abatugana kuruhuka nka piscine wogeramo karuka mu mutwe, imyicungo igezweho abana bidagaduriramo bagataha banezerewe, tennis na table game bakunze kwita biyari, igisoro ndetse na volley yo ku mucanga bakunze kwita beach volley mukunda muri benshi nayo ntitwayibagiwe. Ikindi nuko muri Hotel Saint-Andre Kabgayi twakira inama zitandukanye kuko tubafitiye ibyumba byiza by'inama utasanga ahandi, byaba bito ndetse n'ibishobora kwakira abantu benshi, ariko by'akarusho tukaba tubafasha no gukora inama mukoresheje ikoranabuhanga mu gihe mutari kumwe mu cyumba. Kubifuza serivisi za catering, Hotel Saint-Andre Kabgayi amafunguro n'ibinyobwa tubibagerezaho ku gihe. Tubafitiye ibyumba byiza byagutse biri mu byiciro bitandukanye, harimo n'ibyo bakunze kwita suite mu ndimi z'amahanga, ndetse byose ukaba ubibona ku giciro cyiza. Muri make ugeze muri Hotel Saint-Andre Kabgayi ahora yifuza kugaruka kubera uburyo yakiranywe ubwuzu n'icyubahiro utasanga ahandi, kuko serivisi tuzitanga kinyamwuga kandi zishingiye ku ndangagaciro za kizizi. Ku bindi bisobanuro waduhamagara kuri telefone ziri kuri ekara yawe cyangwa ukatwandikira unyuze ku mbuga nkoranyambaga zacu zitandukanye. Hotel Saint-Andre Kabgayi, imfura mu mahoteli mu gutanga serivisi nziza inoze kandi ku gihe.
Welcome to our international news tonight. His Holiness Pope Leo XIV has unveiled the official program of his 4-day apostolic journey to France, scheduled for 25th of September until 28th of September 2026. The visit will take him to Paris, Saint-Denis, Lourdes, and Metz, combining diplomatic engagements, religious celebrations, and meetings with young people. In Paris, Pope will meet French President Emmanuel Macron, government officials, civil society representatives, and diplomats, visit UNESCO headquarters, and celebrate Vespers at the Notre Dame Cathedral. He will later join thousands of young people for a prayer virgil at the Stade de France. The Pope will then travel to Lourdes, when he will pray at the Grotto of the Apparitions, celebrate Mass, and meet French bishops, pilgrims, and residents of Accueil Notre Dame. His final stop will be Metz, where he is scheduled to participate in an interfaith gathering, attend a meeting on peace and European unity, and celebrate Mass at St. Stephen's Cathedral in Metz. Well, and that story about Pope takes us to an end of our news tonight. But before we conclude, let's go back to our top stories. Minister Dr. Utuma Twishima Jean-Paul Abdallah has urged the Christian youth to stay away from drugs and substance abuse, stressing that faith in God should go hand in hand with responsible and exemplary conduct. A total of 85.70% of students who sat for Rwanda's national examinations at the end of lower secondary education have achieved the required pass mark. Rwanda National Police in the southern province of Rwanda has trained traders and vendors operating in Irango Modern Market in Huye district on fire prevention, preparedness, and emergency response. In international news, His Holiness Pope Leo XIV has unveiled the official program for his 4-day apostolic journey to France, scheduled for 25th of September until 28th of September 2026. Well, it was a very huge privilege to be with you tonight, and thank you very much for being with PACIS TV. My name is Benjamin Kwizera, and I wish you a fantastic weekend.
Jésus-Christ.
PACIS TV, the #1 Catholic television in Africa.
PACIS TV, ta vie renouvelée en Jésus-Christ.
PACIS TV, the #1 Catholic television.